If you think you felt a great disturbance in the Force, you're not wrong. Ed Gross and me, Mark A. Altman, have a new oral history coming out this July from St. Martin's Press. It's Secrets of the Force, the complete, uncensored, unauthorized oral history of the Star Wars saga. So wherever you buy books, audio, and video, pick it up today, pre-order, and you can learn the secrets of the Force. And don't miss our oral history of Star Trek in stores now. And of course, nobody does it better. The complete oral history of James Bond in digital, hardcover, paperback, and audio. That is all. If you like Inglorious Trexperts, you're going to love our new Trexperts briefing room, where Darren and myself curate classic episodes of Star Trek with special guests from various Star Trek series talking about the episodes you love.
I think that sounds great.
I can't wait to do it.
Let's go see.
What episodes are we doing, Darren?
Well, we don't want to give it away.
Okay. Well, then you need to watch Trexperts Briefing Room wherever you listen to Inglorious Trexperts and on the new Trexperts Briefing Room podcast feed. Don't miss it. Coming intermittently in the coming weeks. Trexperts Briefing Room. It's what every real Trexpert needs. Hey, Darren, have you been watching us on the Electric Now app?
I have. I haven't recently because I watch you pretty much every week when we're doing these things. But
yeah, but you know, it's you know what I love about the Electric Now app?
It's better on video.
So easy to use.
It's
better
really
on video.
Easy. Download the app and you watch us. That's all there is to it.
It's so simple. And
a lot of other cool stuff too.
You go to the App Store. It says Electric Now. You download it, and then in the United States,
press the button, and there it is.
There it is. And you can choose, you can bookmark it. There's plenty of other movies and TV show to enjoy and episodes of all your favorite Electric Surge podcasts. So why wait? Download the Electric Now app and start enjoying us anytime.
Welcome to Best Movies Never Made, the podcast where we explore interesting and infamous movies that never made it to or through production. I am your co-host, Josh Miller, and with me, as always, is Mr. Steven Scarlatta. We're going to pick up our conversation about George Miller's Justice League movie right where we left off with our guests Clark Wolfe, Ed Greer, and Pat Casey. So now everyone's going to go up to Fortress of Solitude because they realize like people are watching us. We got to go somewhere no one can watch us. The Flash is really stoked that they're going up to the fortress.
Everyone knows the Fortress of Solitude exists, but no one's ever been there.
Flash like runs home. Kind of interestingly weird scene where he's in bed with Iris and he like vibrates, which happens a lot in this script. And I guess for people who don't know the character, the Flash, he can vibrate his body so fast that he like slips through the molecules of, you know, the wall and whatever. And he like phases through his wife's body. And it's kind of like she has an orgasm because of it.
Yeah, erotic phasing through people.
Can I just, look, I don't want to make it about gender here because whatever, but as the only woman on this Zoom, can I just say I loved this scene? I thought this scene was wonderful, actually. I know, and I don't speak for all the female kind. I don't. But all joking aside, I was like, this is clever in a way that if you had to put this on a summer 4th of July blockbuster weekend, you could put this scene in and it would be a lovely visual moment and it would be like a quote fingers intimate moment, but also adults / women in the audience would look at this and go, oh, I know what this is. I see you, Justice League. But not to assign too much meaning to it, but I liked this scene. I thought it was clever. I liked this.
Well, as we've said previously, it's like, and for good reason, which will become more apparent as we keep moving along. It's like the Flash is the only character who they really make a character. Like he's the only character who, obviously we have Batman and Alfred, but like who are kind of seeing more of their life that is unrelated to the A plot of the forming of the Justice League. To the point where it's also kind of weird. I mean, I guess he is unbelievably fast and is only gone for like a few minutes, but he is constantly just like, I'll be right back, you guys, and kind of just go. For surprise, they didn't like show him just like looking around in a bookstore and being like, oh crap, right, I'm supposed to be saving the world.
And Iris in this script is not interesting. Like, she's just there to be like, I love you anyway. You annoy me and drive me crazy, but I still love you. And like, fine, whatever. Like, it is what it is. Fine. But
the other thing that he does while he's here is like we have like an ongoing Wally plot where Barry has like a theory about OMAC, and he's like, Wally, you're a teenager. You got to hack into the Pentagon. And Wally's like, of course I can do that. Like every teenager.
And Wally like puts on his flash suit and is like, I want to come help out. And Barry's
like, no.
The thing that I
won't let you get killed.
The thing that I really can't stand in movies or anything is when somebody super fast uses technology super fast. Like somehow it could, like, I understand that technically if you could press buttons on a keyboard super duper fast, technically the operations might happen pretty fast if you have a really fast computer. But there would be this threshold, you know, that's never apparent in any of these things. It's just like, I just want to see a super speedster typing real fast and its keys start popping up. It's like, shit, this is my 4th laptop this week.
Yeah. Good point, Ed. Speaking truth.
It's just too hard on your equipment, man. You can't superize your Walkman. You can't superize your keyboard.
So they're up at the fortress. Batman also manages to like Alfred get some old timey computers together or something. And they're able to kind of find out about OMAC, stands for One Man Army Corps. It's from World War II. Super soldiers able to take on the Nazis. He also realizes the rest are up at the Fortress of Solitude. We get to the fortress. I assume
Batman has not interacted with the rest of the league at all.
And I don't know if this was ever in the comics. It was definitely this presentation of the Fortress of Solitude, at least as far as what we've seen in the movies. It seemed like it was a little bit more Bat-cavey as just all the stuff he had on there, since we're so used to the classic Richard Donner, just kind of like endless white. Was this in the comic book where he's recreated the Smallville farmhouse? Like it's almost like
remember ever seeing that.
I've never seen that before. I'm not an aficionado, but
that's in Kingdom Come. That's something that they yanked out of Kingdom Come because obviously
yanked a bunch of stuff from Kingdom Come.
Yeah. It's one of those things that they yanked from there.
Yeah, Kingdom Come was good. I'll tell you what I want to see out of a Fortress of Solitude someday in one of these Superman reboots. The giant key that only Superman can lift to open the door.
Yes.
We need the giant key. The key the size of a bus.
We had on DC Daily a lot of the weird props that were allegedly in the Batcave, like the giant penny, a giant dinosaur, like all sorts of weird things. And I was like, I understand that I don't know all of the comics, but I was kind of like, I've never seen or heard of this. This is wild. And
the giant key? That was new. Oh man.
I didn't know of that.
It was like a staple back in like the 50s and 60s. Like my dad had a bunch of old Supermans that I found when I was a kid. Oh man, they were so good.
And I love those references. Like that's awesome. And so, but I did have a note actually here that I really liked that he had recreated the Kent home.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it was a nice touch.
It's basically the boring farmhouse scene from Age of Ultron, but in a way more interesting context where exciting things are happening at that point in the story. So it's just fun. Yeah, they're just sitting around inside a house, even though they're up at the North Pole. There you see Batman is coming. We cut back to Maxwell and Talia. Yeah, what if they put a band together and one man against the gods? And Maxwell, this becomes kind of a running quote that all different characters say in different contexts. Just let's see what one man can do.
A very strange theme to have for a team movie.
What? No, yeah.
Like one man can make a difference. That's like the Knight Rider theme. Although that was always like what one man in a car can make a difference. But in this one, they keep saying what one man can do, but it's like this is a freaking team movie, you guys.
But I think they're also saying it pejoratively by the end, which is really interesting. Like it goes from like what one man could do to like one man. We should let one man do a damn thing. There needs to be at least a couple aliens, some women, some young people.
One woman. That's not really all you need, Ed.
And then we got a big scene to read here. Clark, Pat, and Ed when Batman shows up. and reveals to them, as Ed had noted about that one splash page, essentially the same idea where he's like,
This is
it's
page
all me.
59.
Yeah, he's like, this is all my fault, you guys.
Oh yeah. Well, this Superman is such a doofus. You'll hear from these lines. This guy's an idiot. All right, ready to go.
But we'll start down at here. The Superman steps in front of Batman, swallowing his anger. They try to stay calm.
How do we turn it off?
I don't know. I've tried.
Where is this thing?
I don't know.
Tell us.
I don't know. I cloaked it, hid its location, even from myself. It's gone.
It's Superman's turn to lose it. He lifts Batman off his feet and slams him against the wall.
Ah, how could you be so stupid?
I thought you were nonviolent.
A fist attached to a slim, powerful forearm connects viciously with Batman's jaw, sending him staggering out of Superman's grasp, down to one knee.
He is, but I'm not.
Did she hit him?
That was Green Lantern. They're going to have to play multiple characters in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wait, who's
nice
the
shot,
Flash?
too.
Oh, you are.
Batman struggles to his feet with major difficulty. The others get a good look at him. His left shoulder, his right knee, high-tech braces on both. Whatever happened to him, it was bad. Batman's reluctant, but he has to admit it. Everything. All those braces are from when he fought the OMAC in the movie theater.
Yeah, the OMAC kicked his ass and then let him go. It's called OMAC, some rotten vestige of an old military program. Robotic attack vehicles, psyops, nanotech.
I knew it.
Someone hijacked it, updated it. There's a human component now, some sort of transformation. It hit me.
Flashes of light, or flashes of last night's battle in his head.
1 minute it was a man, and then it was a machine. A killing machine. I threw everything I had at it. Everything I had. And it owned me.
But it that sounds
It
so
owned me so hard.
Yeah.
Made me
That's-
look like a total noob.
Sounds sexual.
Batman. That sounds vaguely erotic. Anyway, but it spared you? Why?
That's what I need to find out.
He draws his cape around himself again, ready to go.
As soon as you can, split up.
No, we're stronger together.
You think we're here by accident? We're here because it wants us here.
I think you overestimate.
Think about it, Clark. It used the attack on John as bait to bring Aquaman up to the surface. It hit me as a distraction. Then Green Lantern and Aquaman at the same time. It knew I'd come to warn you. It's been one step ahead the whole time.
You're wrong, Bruce. We're safe here. We've already got John back on his feet.
And in a fishbowl, look at him. It's playing with us.
How do you know all this?
Because it's exactly how I would have done it.
Dun dun dun. This stops them. He wears his guilt like a mask. Suddenly, there's music, a lo-fi hip-hop beat. The Flash remembers, pulls Iris's cell phone from his boot. Oh yeah, in the scene where he phases through her, she's like, "Make sure to take your phone so I can text you and know where you are at all times." And I'm gonna just be like, "Baby, I gotta save the world!" Like, come on. This seems none of the other guys have to bring their cell phone. But anyway, he's like, "Oh, sorry, that's me. I got it."
Don't answer that.
Lifts the receiver to his ear. Nah, it's cool. It's just my wife. Hi, honey. But it's not Iris. On his
What?
microfiber tendril snakes out of the phone and slides right into his head. Follow the metallic probe. Basically, I think shoots into his ear, starts to like shock him. He starts phasing so super fast that he's gonna like sink through the floor. He's like, oh, this isn't gonna be good.
Flash?
And the shakes kick in big time. He drops to his knees, looking up, pleading, help.
Hold him.
Full molecular speed, the threshold of the Speed Force. Wonder Woman reaches for him, but she's too late. He slips right through her arms and slides down into the icy floor. God, and then this just keeps going. There's this whole thing where he's like falling through the center of the earth, and they're just like, oh no, wait, he's gonna whiplash back once he flies to the other end of the planet. So they like get ready to grab him when he pops back up. Wonder
I
Woman.
like to think that like he flies out like Antarctica so we can get a cameo from the Happy Feet penguins here.
That would have been great. Get Elijah Wood back. They're just tap dancing around. So when he flies back at the other end, Wonder Woman, they, I guess, determined that when she uses her lasso or lariat, as they call it in this script, he won't be able to phase through that. So she manages to lasso him, and it just like keeps on going. and
it's like gonna kill him because he's like using up so many calories.
yeah, they
He's like
establish he has to
withering away.
eat an insane amount of food, as they usually do in the Flash movies. So then they realize that like the Thing had put something on his brain that they need to get out, and there's this
Like
whole,
something going in your ear, Wrath of Khan style.
yeah, and Green Lantern, even though he's lost all his confidence, he has to use his ring to make a super microscopic, like surgical equipment using.
And
John
he's like blind.
Jones.
The thing in his brain is like making him blind, kind of.
Yeah,
I
so
think.
John Jones is guarding him using his Martian vision as another micrometer down is a direction that Martian Manhunter gives him at some point. They are able to successfully remove the super tiny thing. Flash turns back to normal. Then they have to systematically do it to everyone else to remove the little tiny things that are on Aquaman's brain. Same with Martian Manhunter. This kind of continues on over the course of numerous scenes. Past
Just a
this
series of surgery scenes. We keep cutting back to them. Green Lantern fishing tiny microchips out of people's brains.
This is, I know, Pat. Whoa, my mic keeps going crazy. What's your problem, Mike? Alfred manages to get Brother Eye back online and away from Maxwell Lord, and he's like looking through. He's like, oh, all these profiles of everyone's weakness. They get to Batman's profile, and it's like, what's Batman's weakness? Love.
Oh my god.
Okay. This is where I get super sweaty. This is where me and Clark are going to be sweaty together. This is ridiculous.
Yes.
That is ridiculous. Of all of the, as Clark beautifully stated earlier, his main weakness is his way of expressing love is, let me refashion you into a shuriken that I can throw in the eyes of my enemies. That is his version of friendship. That's his version of relationships. And that's why, nobody really lasts with him. And for you to say that the main way to get to him is love, you could have put a nanite in the Joker's mouth, and when Batman punches him, that little bit of spit drops on Batman. That would be a more effective way to get him than to get anybody to kiss him. You know what I mean? It's so ridiculous.
Well, and like there's a series of flashbacks of like all the girls he's ever dated Pat. In the comics.
So it says we see Julie Madison, Silver St. Cloud, Vicky Vale, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and finally Talia.
Yeah, it's like fucking Silver St. Cloud was from like Steve Englehart's run in like the mid 70s. Like nobody remembers who she is except for a gigantic dorks like me. And like they would just, in the movie, this is just they're flashing a bunch of women. Like no one's going to recognize any of them unless it's Kim Basinger, like classic footage of her from the first
Pfeiffer.
movie.
Exactly.
Which actually that would be cool if they were just all the girls from all the previous Batman movies. Maybe that's how you do it.
I mean, that would, but it is true though, like completely out of context, unless you are going to do some sort of almost multiverse thing, because they at least made a lot of Batman movies. Him and Superman would be the two characters.
Yeah, they show Uma Thurman and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Exactly.
Yeah, but as it is, it's like pretty meaningless, and you're kind of just like, so these are all the ones he's loved or dated. If it's only dated, that's actually doesn't seem like that many, although I guess he's only 21.
Which also doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, what they would really do.
Like Talia already slipped him the thing in the party earlier. I don't remember.
We haven't shown that flashback yet.
But she did, like, at that party, she was like, hey, Bruce, and, like, slipped him a microchip.
No, it's like, it doesn't even quite make sense. I guess just Maxwell
like Max
Lord
could have given him something. Max, like, shook his hand earlier.
Well,
that's how easy it could have been to get to
Here's
Batman.
what you're talking about. This is the scene where she plants the thing on him. This was, I think it says 6 months ago or something. they're having like a big steamy sex scene. Talia devours him, a kiss like an animal, a kiss almost brutal in its passion. Batman pulls away, his lip bleeding. He licks the blood away, throws his cape around her body and enveloping her with his darkness. As they fall
Devour blood. Did Armie Hammer write this scene?
as they fall back onto the bed, the kiss repeats itself. The image playing over and over, closer and closer, lips, teeth, blood, until we're close enough to see a tiny glint of metal, a nanoscopic homing device in a bead of blood, and Batman's tongue taking it inside his body. And this is what he's like, oh shit. So he's had that
So Max could take him out at any point, at any time.
Yeah, I like to imagine she slipped Dennis Quaid from inner space inside him, and he's been floating around in there this whole time, trying to figure out how to talk to him. We have a little moment here after Green Lantern takes the nano device out of Aquaman, other way around. They save Green Lantern after everyone else has been saved. They save him, and he's like, "Thank you, Arthur." And Aquaman says, "Call me Aquaman," which is kind of weird.
That didn't feel earned.
No, well, he didn't
No, not at all.
That exchange was with Superman earlier, not Green Lantern. Like, that's not a meaningful reversal. All right, but we got another scene to read here. So this is, even though all this crazy stuff's happened, they all basically kind of like split up for a down moment to strategize. And the Flash goes to planet Krypton with Wonder Woman because, as we established, he needs to eat a crazy amount of calories at all times. And he was just burning off stuff big time when he was falling through the center of the earth. So you ready, Clark and Pat?
I'm ready.
All right. Interior planet, Krypton restaurant. Flash digging in, rejuvenating, regaining his strength. Want some? She shakes her head. Guess that's why they fit so nicely in or I guess that's why you fit so nicely in the costume.
I've never understood the mortal male's need to objectify the female with.
You ever look in the mirror? Because if that's a problem, you might want to add a cape to the costume, or I don't know, pants. Wonder Woman has to smile. It's right, she has to smile because.
Oh, you.
Because that's the way this movie's doing it. He's feeling better. Flash wipes his chin with a napkin, and here's
That junk will kill you, Uncle Barry.
It's Wally West. He's got a folder of papers in his hand.
I'm sorry. Am I interrupting? Is this a date? Seriously, is it? Because Aunt Iris. I'm just saying.
Flash blushes almost as red as his suit. It's not a date, for Christ's sake. What are you doing here? How'd you find us?
Something in the Speed Force. I always know where you are, but just a sec. To Wonder Woman. Oh my God. You're Wonder Woman. The real Wonder Woman.
Wally's eyes roll down his shirt front. I don't really know what that means. He smiles a crooked late teenage smile. Wonder Woman looks to Flash. See, my nephew, Wally. He's,
He is indeed.
And Wally, don't objectify, okay? What have you got? Wally drops his folder on the table, slips into the booth.
Well, you wanted to know Nano. Who's who, right? Who isn't is the better question. Who isn't is the better question. Wayne Enterprises, Solitron, Ambicorp, they're all into the little stuff. But first of all, I got to tell you, the government needs to get better encryption technology because I was in there pretty deep and I'm just a kid with an iPhone. But I turned up something interesting. Part of this OMAC project, you guys are going to love this.
Dun, dun, dun.
All teenagers are master hackers. Are Solitron and Ambicorp anything? Seems like you could have said other DC companies, Star Labs, Cord Enterprises, whatever.
Yeah, something.
2007 iPhone.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I was like, okay, iPhones? All right.
This scene was interesting on the heels of our Wonder Woman series and all the conversations we had there about her costume and how the movies choose to comment on the costume. But this one just has like a weird tone though, where he's just kind of being a creep, but I guess it's supposed to be charming in the context.
Again,
of the
yeah, it's
scene.
like Wonder Woman is a character where I feel like the public doesn't necessarily know what her deal is, and this movie never explains it even remotely, right? They don't say
No.
anything about her coming to man's world from another place. It's just she's just Wonder Woman. She exists for people to be like, "Wow, Wonder Woman, you're so hot." She's just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you
Oh,
/
you.
kind of shut up, but not really."
Oh,
When you look at those images, like the promotion or the camera tests that came out, like the actual stills of the actress in the costume, like it looks like a Halloween costume. Now, that has nothing to do with her. It is just whatever the costume department was going for. Gal Gadot in the first Wonder Woman movie specifically, that outfit that she wears when she walks into No Man's Land looks like gladiator armor. Now, yes, it's shorter, but that's fine. Like, it feels somehow okay. Whereas all of the iterations before that, for whatever reason, feel very much like fabric skirts, and like it just doesn't feel like it could ever live in a world. And it's tough. It's tough because, like, at the very least, at least this Diana isn't like, I'm hot, like whatever. But her outfit is, we don't know how to talk about it, everyone. We just don't know what to say.
But we follow this scene up with another great scene with one of our only 3 female characters, where Batman now finds Talia and confronts her. And he's like, "Why are you doing all this? The world's gonna be destroyed." And she's like, "Because you threw me away." Wow.
It's also not great.
Pathetic.
It's not great.
We get some more exposition back at Planet Krypton from Wally, where he's talking about how the army had this program where they were raising kids to be psychic soldiers. This was like the follow-up to the OMAC program when that like didn't work. And we find out all the kids died except Jonah Wilkes, if you'll recall, was the kid we saw on a monitor earlier that Maxwell Lord was talking to. And that's when we reveal that Maxwell Lord is Jonah Wilkes. And I was also like, if this is going to be 24-year-old Jay Baruchel, I mean, I guess it was going to be like a real little kid was going to be the picture of Jonah Wilkes. It just doesn't seem like there would have been a lot of growing.
Yeah, and Max is just basically getting revenge on the world for the fact that he was experimented on and turned into a super person, and then I guess used his powers to found his fast food empire.
For the record, like the actors who in live action up until okay, so I understand the script was written in 2007, but like, after the fact, Peter Facinelli plays Maxwell Lord on Supergirl. And Pedro Pascal has more recently played Maxwell Lord in Supergirl. Jay Baruchel is a departure from that type. And so I think that is worth pointing out, that whatever iteration this was looking to, that is just
and it isn't like, it does make sense that they were like, oh, the new billionaire model is now Mark Zuckerberg.
And yes,
but it's like, if Mark Zuckerberg had started a fast food chain, like that's kind of the bizarre thing, is they're not actually using the real world model for this type of super young billionaire.
Well, I mean, and that was for the purposes of a plot twist in this case.
Yeah.
But
Pat,
it's still pretty stupid.
As you were
Pedro
just
Pascal
saying,
was a good Max Lord, even though they still didn't use Max Lord correctly.
Agreed.
Yeah. And as Pat was just saying, now we get to a scene where Maxwell Lord shows up and talking to Batman, revealing his evil plan. And he's like, I'm just doing what I was born to do. I'm completing the OMAC project, which is a little still unclear since the OMAC project started to fight Nazis. But anyway, he gets seats from around the world, all these world leaders and powerful rich people who we realize are all the same people who are at Bruce Wayne's birthday party, start turning into OMACs. OMACs attack Batman. We cut back to as far as Pat being like, what are Martian Manhunter's powers? Audience member, Martian Manhunter morphs into Batman because he's sensing Batman's like pain and can't help but to turn into him. They go to save Batman. Aquaman riding on the back of a killer whale like a boss. Let's see, Superman and Wonder Woman show up to save Batman. Wonder Woman calls Max, Jonah Wilkes. He freaks out. He's like, you don't use that name. Jonah's dead. There's only Max now. Max Lord uses his awesome psychic powers to tap into Superman's brain. And we basically get the scene from the Zack Snyder movie where they bring Superman back to life, but now it's sort of like evil and everyone has to fight him. And so this like mind possessed version of Superman. Oh, because he makes Superman think that Wonder Woman killed Lois Lane or whatever using
like
psychic
that
powers.
felt completely out of nowhere because there'd been no mention of Lois and whatever. And it's like, it's more like he's just Superman. Why not just make it Max is controlling him and
he's
he's
controlling
evil?
him. That's how it plays.
But I did like the
anyway.
scale of this because even when they fight Superman in Justice League, they're just like standing there in a park
It's
and kind of
kinda
bounce
cool,
off
like,
each other.
they go
in this one,
fucking-
it's like Wonder Woman like doinks Superman off the moon. It's
Literally.
like the special fight moves from Injustice, like
And-
really ridiculous. And
and
I would
also-
have loved to see the George Miller version of
I was
that.
Can we-
definitely like, oh yeah, what are you saying, Clark?
No, sorry. Just can we point out that clearly these writers had never seen Superman for the Quest for Peace because Superman does fight Nuclear Man on the moon. The flag, I believe, is involved. And later, when Talia turns into the robot, that also was reminiscent
Oh, that was very
of Superman 3.
3 for
And so I was
sure.
like, what is happening? What is happening in any of this? Sorry.
George Lucas would call those rhyming. I was rhyming with the previous things earlier. You see, I guess I'm the apologist on here, but also this whole thing of real quick, making Wonder Woman have no characterization, no characteristics, except boy, she can go toe to toe with Superman. That's a truly male way of making her have agency and be a cool character. Is she's tough enough to fight Superman, man.
She is a lot more powerful in this than like in Justice League, the one we got, the Joss Whedon version. It's like Superman's clearly much more powerful than Wonder Woman. In this one, they go toe to toe and are basically evenly matched. And all the other heroes are nothing compared to the two
And
of
as
them.
Hector Navarro
basically.
would attest, that is sort of the point of Wonder Woman was it's Superman, but a lady. And that's why we sort of fudge the idea through the comics that she can kind of fly. I mean, we don't call it flying sometimes, but she can essentially
She's
fly. And
riding on the air.
Exactly. Yes. And so, yeah, to your point, like there is the intention of she's like Superman in those ways for sure.
Yeah, they're going.
Definitely. No, I was going to say, this is definitely my favorite part of the script, this whole sequence.
Yeah, it's
I would
pretty
have loved to
cool.
have seen this. Like this would have been the standout sequence.
Defend the Justice League. I do like the scene when they're all fighting Superman, and
No, it's the best scene. That's that one moment.
That's the
with
best
Flash.
moment in the
It's
whole
the
movie,
coolest
for
part of the
sure.
whole movie.
Just really quickly, I think what's interesting as well is they come up with a thing to take out Martian Manhunter, a thing to basically take out Batman, which is the program itself, a thing to take out the Flash, and Green Lantern. They don't come up with anything to take out Wonder Woman until you count this manipulation of Superman. So it's like a put over for her. Like the only thing that could bother her at all would be Superman going crazy. So it's like it's a very male way of going, see, we like the chicks. You know what I mean? It's so weird.
It's also weird in this fight. Aquaman comes in to help Wonder Woman by basically launching a wave of living sea creatures at Superman for Superman to just like murder. And I'm just like, all these poor like, perch, carp, barracuda, eels. I'm just like, oh man.
Just get liquefied by Terminators under the water.
Turned into little Lisa Slurry.
So exactly. So Maxwell Lord continues his monologuing that he's just doing all this because nobody helped him and the other like kids from the OMAC projects. Like, you weren't there. No one was there. So I'm evil now and I'm going to kill everybody. Another kind of fun bit is that Green Lantern makes a super green Superman with his ring to fight Superman. And every time Superman punches green Superman, he gets bigger. And so eventually it's like, giant Ant-Man. It's got like a big kaiju green Superman. I'm like, I would have liked to see that. That's fun. Maxwell Lord is like, the only way you can stop me is to kill me, which none of you ever do. Ha ha ha, stupid assholes. All is lost. And then here's another scene for the group to read. And Steve, you might be in this. Page 104. Steve will be playing Martian Manhunter at some point here.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to do the scene description, Josh?
Or well, Clark will start us off here with the first Maxwell line at the top.
All right. Where were you? Where were any of you when I needed you?
In the last moment of his life, a darkness envelops him from behind, a black cape. It engulfs him. And the last words Maxwell Lord hears on this earth are,
right here.
Maxwell's neck breaks like the sickening snapping of twigs, like knuckles popping.
No! That was Batman killing him and Aquaman saying no.
He drops dead, wrapped in the shroud of Batman's cape on Superman, the color returning to his eyes. He relaxes his grip and Wonder Woman falls to the floor in a heap right across from Batman. He rises, pulling the cape off Maxwell's dead body, straddling him. He looks down.
What one man can do, Max.
No.
She's wrecked, beaten, bleeding. Superman descends, confused and bleeding too, sees Wonder Woman's crumpled form, tries to shake the dirt from his mind.
Diana, what?
He reaches for her, but she recoils in fear, crawls away from him, over to Aquaman, Green Lantern, the Martian, all wounded, damaged. Superman can't figure it out, finds Maxwell's dead body.
No. What is this? Who did this?
I did
You did what?
what had to be done.
Superman shakes the fog off, rises to his feet. This time it's righteous anger.
No. This isn't who we are. We never take a human life. That's unacceptable.
Accept it. It's done.
This makes you no better than him.
Batman rushes Superman, gets in his face, the intensity of his whisper.
You were killing her. Diana would be dead.
This is a slap, a gut punch.
What? Diana, can I just point out that Superman's an idiot? This is so stupid. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Half of Superman's lines are like,
What?
Oh, Superman is definitely the William Riker of this script. Okay. What? Diana.
Wonder Woman still on the floor.
Max was inside your mind. He turned you. You were.
It was inhuman. Inhuman.
Superman sees the burn marks, the blood, the others, their injuries, knows it's true, all of it.
My God. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
He takes off his cape, wraps it around Wonder Woman. He touches Wonder Woman's face.
Diana.
She looks up at him, touches his wounds. That she gave him, forgives him.
It wasn't you, Cal. It wasn't you.
Superman looks at Batman, the truth rushing in.
Then you were right.
He lowers his head in shame, a beat, then,
It doesn't matter. It's over.
but 3 words ring out in the silence.
No, it's not.
That was Maxwell Lord. They all turn to the Brother Eye computer and Talia.
Beloved.
Transforming, a network of cables enter her body, tendrils lifting her up, pulling her into the giant computer, suspending her, embedding her. Her body heaves and shakes as she changes, becoming metallic, robotic, not an OMAC, something else. She becomes Brother Eye. And the voice that comes out is Maxwell Lord's.
It's just the beginning.
The screen behind her flashes to people, regular people all over the world, in markets, restaurants, offices.
You see what we've done together, the final evolution, the OMAC project completed, the relentless pursuit of perfection.
All changing, morphing, rising, becoming OMACs. Cut to Wembley Stadium, London. A soccer midfielder transforms in front of 70,000 spectators. An inner city playground, a kid on a rusty swing.
And it will be perfect. No more war, even though the world was at peace. No more conflict. No more death.
Venice Beach, a girl in a bikini playing volleyball.
Everyone, everywhere, thinking with one mind, one great mind.
A Japanese nightclub, the DJ spinning records.
Mine.
I assume that's a Steve Aoki cameo.
Yeah,
The
totally.
control room, scenes playing out on Brother Eye's screen.
Maxwell Lord was just the mortal shell, but now, Batman, you've given me immortality.
The whole world, OMACs, everywhere.
How? How's he doing it?
How everywhere at once?
I feel like there must have been a typo in there, right? Max's voice from his robotic Talia.
How? You give them the one thing they all want, what everyone needs. Dinner.
On Batman, getting it.
The restaurants.
Nasty ass planet Krypton.
It was in the food? Maxwell Lord Special Chef Sauce, the most innocuous of delivery systems. Over 1 million served. Could it be 1 million? One bite of the apple, and we all lost Eden.
Superman, blow the computer.
No, not with Talia.
Destruct protocols initiate. Metahuman elimination priority 1. All OMAC engage.
The screen goes black and Talia slumps forward in her harness of wires. Then a single message blinking over and over. Commence OMAC war. 6 pairs of eyes stare and flash barrels into the room. Okay, I have been all over the place and they're everywhere, every major city, and it's growing. We're going to need a massive response. He stops, takes in the devastation, the beaten heroes, the flashing message. What did I miss on Superman?
If it's war he wants.
And Wonder Woman.
By all the gods, we'll give him war.
So there is a lot to unpack.
Yeah, this is a very problematic
so
scene.
Stupid. I do not like this at all.
Like, clearly, I feel like someone at DC or Wonder Woman or Warner Brothers, they were like, the coolest thing we can possibly do with these DC characters is just have one of them snap a bad guy's neck because they have to. Like, in the comics, Wonder Woman killed Max Lord in this scene, basically. Here they give it to Batman, the one guy who is least likely to kill someone like this, because at least Wonder Woman's like a warrior. Then Superman does it to Zod in Man of Steel because they didn't get to do it in this one. They were like, Superman will do it. But the fact that Batman kills this guy in front of everyone, they're all like, how could you do that? We never kill people. And he's like, this time we do. And they're like, oh my God, you're right.
You're right.
Good point, Batman. And then 2 seconds later, they're like, we could save the world by killing Talia.